Hey guys, and welcome back to One Pretty Little Box. Definitely welcome to Tasty Tuesday. I have some fabulous tips for you to help extend your grocery budget and to kind of maybe give you a few more ideas on what to do with leftovers. So stay tuned and we're going to have a great day. Here's what I did with a few of my leftovers last night. I made some homemade chicken noodle soup, and then I already had stuff for a salad in there, and I made a batch of cheesy garlic breadsticks. I did not film that, but I'm going to show you a clip of the picture here so you can see each one of those. And it didn't cost me a penny, and I didn't plan it on my menu plan. Soup is always a great way to use some of your leftovers, whether it be leftover roast, ham, chicken, turkey, any kind of meat, maybe even just do a vegetable soup if you are vegan or choose not to eat meat, or even want a meatless Monday meal. I don't know about you, but I always have vegetables in my refrigerator, especially celery, onions, and carrots. I keep those things. Onions I use all the time, so I make sure I have plenty of those when I go to the grocery store. And I always try to get every week celery and carrots because we like to snack on those. On the weekend, I'll throw that out with some cheese, salami, and crackers and some dip, and for us it's a satisfying snack meal kind of thing. Especially on the weekends, like I said, because we are so busy in and out. We're approaching February. It's tomorrow. I cannot wait. So that also means we're kind of on the back end of winter, and we'll soon be in spring. And I don't know about you, but for my family and myself, that means we're outside a whole lot more. So those kind of things are always nice to have. I don't plan those in my menu. Sometimes I do. They're just there. But last night for Monday, I decided, yesterday morning, I was going to make some chicken noodle soup. I had everything in my pantry. I try to keep egg noodles because I will use those for a couple different meals. So I try to keep a bag, and I only use half a bag of those at a time, even for a meal for 5 of us. I count it for 6 meals because my husband takes leftovers to work, and sometimes the teenage boys are hungry enough to eat another full serving divided between them on top of theirs. So a half a bag 9 times out of 10 works, unless I'm cooking one of their favorites, which is ground beef stroganoff, and then I just cook the whole bag because it's quite a bit. It's a hearty meal, but they eat a lot of it. But I had made a roasted chicken the day before, and really we only used half, maybe a little over half of a whole chicken to feed all of us. And so sometimes I'll take it and freeze it. Sometimes I'll chop it up immediately and use it for chicken salad. Sometimes I just shred it and we use it for chicken sandwiches. But that extends your grocery budget, because if you utilize these little leftovers like that and turn it into a meal, not only are you going to kind of cut back on your budget some, but you're going to actually cut back on your waste as well. And I don't know about you, but I throw a ton of leftovers away. We just are not eating them like we used to. And I'm not a big leftover person anyway, but my husband is, and sometimes he will eat that when he wakes up in the morning because he wakes up so early, and he'll just have a little snack, and then he has breakfast that I cook for him once he gets to work, and then, you know, it's just there. Depending on what it is, the kids will sometimes eat it, but not generally. So I'm trying to cut back on portions. Like if I make something and I know that there's going to be leftovers because it's a pasta dish, and I don't know about you guys, but pasta dishes always tend to be one of those ever-growing dinners. It could feed a neighborhood sometimes, and there's leftovers of that. I'll freeze it. Those things freeze well, so I try to leave it in the ice box for about a day, maybe 2, and whenever it's not eaten, I freeze like leftover beans when I cook beans. Soup, sometimes, not always. It depends. Normally my chicken noodle soup is made from the beginning, you know, from raw chicken, and so I will freeze the leftovers of that and then just heat it up with a little extra chicken broth and a little bit more seasoning, and it tends to be fine. But like yesterday, I used chicken that I had pre-cooked, and we got quite a bit out of that meal. We got 2 dinners out of a whole chicken. That was like $5. So come on, you know, it's easy. 2 weeks ago I cooked a roast. I had a lot left over, so I froze it. And when I defrosted it, I had, you know, I shredded it before I froze it. So when I defrosted it, I added in some beef broth, can of beef broth, and I added in a few other little things and some sour cream, and bam, I had an easy stroganoff. And it was another full meal that didn't cost me anything really, because I already had those ingredients on hand. So my biggest tip for you is to shop your pantry, shop your freezer. And the other biggest tip is to use your leftovers. And check your veggies. I know that, like tonight, I'm probably going to make meatloaf. It's a very easy meatloaf recipe, but I will be able to use a few veggies that I need to finish up that are kind of on the wonky end, but because it's going into a meatloaf, they don't have to be perfect. Like peppers, you can cut away any bad spots and use the rest of the pepper. I'll probably shred a little bit of carrots in there. I guess the boys are going to see this maybe after they eat dinner. And I'll, of course, use celery and those kind of things. Never be afraid, though, to venture out and just have a pantry challenge. Look in your pantry and see what's in there that you haven't used. We are one of those families that will eat ramen noodles and a grilled cheese, and it's fine and satisfying for everybody. I don't mind keeping it in the pantry. I'm not a food purist, as you guys know, especially if you've watched my grocery hauls, and so we tend to kind of gravitate towards some of those things. I keep them in the pantry for a reason. I keep corn dogs in the freezer because sometimes, who doesn't like a corn dog? And I haven't done it in a long time, but there are those evenings, especially towards the weekend, that when I'm tired and I really just don't want to cook, throw a sheet of corn dogs in the oven and some fries or tater tots, and bam, that's dinner. Was it the healthiest? No, but it wasn't takeout, and that is the biggest tip that I can give you, is to not rely on takeout. It's tasty and it's a nice treat every now and then. Our family, we might get takeout for dinner once or twice a month at the most. Here recently, not at all. It just was not in our budget. Subway is always a good treat, but don't rely just on that. Make your own subs at home. You guys have seen in previous grocery hauls, we do that. I tend to do that more in the spring and the summer than I do in the fall and the winter, because I don't know, it just happens that way. I always think, look back on peasant meals, stews, soups, casseroles, those kind of things. They go far and they take ingredients that you should probably already have at home. And that is probably my last tip for you, is to make sure you keep a well-stocked pantry. Keep a can or 2 of cream of mushroom, cream of chicken soup. Keep a box of pasta. Make sure you have rice. And keep some frozen vegetables. That alone can make the tastiest of things. You could throw a broccoli, cheese, and rice casserole together really quick. I'm just thinking, that may be something I make this week. Because, and it's okay to venture away from your menu plan. This is just tips to kind of cut back on your budget, to extend your menu plan, and to keep you from going through that drive-through more than you need to. Use your crock pot. I am fixing to leave for work, but there have been some mornings that I will put a casserole together, toss it in the icebox. All I have to do is pull it out, throw it in the oven when I get home, and dinner's done. But there's not a whole lot of effort at the end of the day. There's ways to do it if it is your definite desire to serve and feed your family and to do it without busting a budget. Thanks for stopping by for Tasty Tuesday. I hope to have a recipe for you guys next week. Maybe a cook with me. I'm not sure. Anywho, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.